So hello everybody, this is Colette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and as promised I'm doing this recording to support you all with everything that is going on in the collective with the Fear Association at the moment. So I posted yesterday with regards to the two distinct kind of areas around fear, and the first being denial. So I've seen with clients that I've worked with, and in the collective on Facebook and people's postings, there's a level of denial that we go through. We might say, oh, we're not feeling the fear at the minute, or it's not affecting us, and the shadow self will always kind of try to bypass feeling. It will try to make us feel that we're not being affected something, but our bodies often give off signals that in fact we are being affected by the fear, or we are feeling the symptoms of what's going on out there. And how can we not be? I see in the spiritual community there's always a lot of reference to oneness. They say, we're one, we're that one drop in the ocean, and they tend to discount that, discontinue that when it becomes about something negative. But that we're always connected to the one, we're always connected to others, and we're always connected to the collective because we're part of it. So fear, as it reigns around us, and we're all seeing everybody in fear, a lot of people in fear, will have some kind of impact on us. And so for me, it's always about tuning into the body upon waking. I'll always spend a few moments at least just lying there and beginning to tune into my emotional state, how I'm feeling, what the body feels like. And I've been feeling the patterns of anxiety, fear, and the waves riding through me. I'm not going to blame that on the collective. We all have to come into ownership here and say, if we're having waves or we're having anxiety or having illness, then it's down to the individual, it's down to the self. So what part of me is in response to what's going on out there? And I'm going to teach you a little technique shortly. So for me, it was I kind of have a big fight response in my nervous system. So I'm like, oh, okay, we can deal with this. I can handle this. I've got everything prepared and together. And that's always my initial response. And so that will distract me from going, what are you really scared about? What is your worry here? How will this impact you and affect you? I know people go into freeze. They've got like no response, no feeling towards what's going on. And then there's the flight. People are in mad panic, running around, like totally scared of what's going to happen. And then you've got the fawn, you've got the people that are trying to save everybody else. So I know that pattern in me, and I know the denial in me. And when anything like this happens in the collective, it is an opportunity to make this about the self. So I sat there and I thought, okay, I'm going to go into meditation. I'm going to connect with my body, and I'm feeling to my body first. So this is what I always do. I close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, and I'll talk you all through this. And then I go into the physical body and I just do a body scan. I scan through the entire body, feeling somatically anything that's going on, maybe tension in the head, maybe jaw, maybe I've got a headache, my heart might be beating a little bit faster, might have gurgling in my stomach. So I'll go through that kind of thing first, all the way through my body, checking, scanning, feeling what's out of balance. And then if I find a place, so the other morning, as I described, everything was fine. I wasn't scared. This isn't going to affect me. I can battle through anything. I started to feel kind of like noticed that the heart pattern was a little bit different. I noticed a little fluttering. I noticed a little bit of a connection to my stomach. And I was like, okay, I've got it somatically. I can feel this in my body. And I then go into what we call felt sense or feeling sense, and I go in and feel it. So I allow that feeling to come forward. I give it space. So I go to that flutter, I go to the stomach, and I allow that to come from the subconscious mind and allow it to come through to the conscious mind. And I say to this place that I'm feeling, it's okay, you're safe, come through, show me what it is that you're in response to. So I brought this part of me in physical feeling forward, and lo and behold, there was anxiety and a little bit of fear. And I asked the fear what it was, and the fear said, I'm scared of being separated from my son Casper. So I allowed that feeling to come through. I allowed the fear to come through. I felt myself feeling what it would be like to be separated with Casper. There was some tears. There was a little bit of sickness, and again allowing those physical movements to come forward so I could properly feel what this I was scared of. And I was with that feeling for 5-10 minutes, and I let that feeling come fully through until it began to soften and soften. And so then I took a body movement. So it might have been like a big stretch or a yawn or whatever the body wanted to do to kind of release that physical pattern through my body. And then I took a deep breath and I just recalibrated. And then I was, okay, what else is here? And then went to the stomach, felt in my stomach that there was a sicky feeling, and the sicky feeling I allowed to come up, allowed the sick feeling to come through. And lo and behold, another fear came through, a food shortage, being stuck somewhere without enough food, and allow that to come through progressively, gently, softly, allowing that fear to come all the way through. And I don't let the mind take over when I'm allowing the feeling to come through, because the mind will kind of give you worst case scenarios, or you're going to starve to death. It's always about death. When we come into fear, it's about our ability to stay alive, to survive. So it calls all our death impulses up. So how will I have enough food? And that's a big one for me, because this is something I've worked on with my epigenetic self, and knowing, and I've spoke about this before, about the famine in the Irish famine in my family, and how that still impacts me now with relationship to food. So I wasn't surprised that that came up at that point. And again, it was just another layer of that wounding, and I allowed that to come up, and I felt it, and I didn't suppress it. So this is how I deal with any feelings, any suppressed feelings, because then those suppressed feelings don't start to control me. Those fears were there, and I could pretend that I wasn't scared. I could pretend that, yes, I've got fight in me and I'm going to fight through this, but I would be in denial, and eventually those feelings would form action. They would form some kind of behavior. So for me, with the food store, that would make me go out and panic buy and buy lots of food and fill my cupboards and make sure that I had enough food. The second was about separation with Casper and my son, and that would make me not go on my travels, because I would be scared of being separated from my son. And so the action after feeling it was, well, how do I not be separated by my son? Does he come traveling with me, or do I stay at home? And that leaves options open. I'm not acting in the fear. I begin to act in a more rational way. What's the rational thing to do here? What can be done? I don't have a fear of contracting the coronavirus. I don't have that fear, but I have the fear of the implications of what's going on in the world that will affect me and my family. And so my survival instinct and my we're not going to die, death instinct comes in. So I'm asking you all, and this is just for your own health, is to really investigate your fear patterning that's happening. There is not one person out there who is immune to this, unless you are in an enlightened state. And there's not very many of those people. So what is the fear in you? So I can take you through that now. I can take you through the meditation to allow yourself to identify the fear pattern. So at this point, with this recording, you may wish to close your eyes. So just take a deep breath and close your eyes. And just begin to tune in on your breath. Feel the inhalation and feel the exhalation. And that's all you need to do here, is to be in tune with your inhale and your exhale. And the mind may begin to chatter to you, and this would be normal. And all you need to do every time a thought comes in is just go straight to the breath. So thoughts will come in and noises will come in. You can hear my inquisitive chicken. And all noises that we experience when we're in meditation are part of the meditation. So we don't become agitated or we don't focus on them. You will hear around me the sound of birds. Maybe the sound of the river. Sound of my chickens. Just allow the noises to be part of this meditation. You are not focusing on them or concentrating on them. You are just allowing them to be part of this. And you're still focusing on your breath. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. And really begin to feel like the breath goes a little bit deeper. It's a little more lengthened. You are trying to just create a bit more time with each inhalation and with each exhalation. And feel the expansion that the breath creates every time you breathe in. You create an opening, you create space in the body, new life, new oxygen, air. And every breath out, you are releasing, you are letting go, you are surrendering, you are giving up. And feel that lovely slow exchange of inhaling, bringing in, and the exhale, the release. And let everything slow down. Feel the body beginning to respond to the breath, the slowness, the stillness, peace. And take a deep sigh, just let the body relax into this beautiful stillness and expansion you're creating through the body. And begin to bring your awareness inward. As you breathing in, you're going to bring all of yourself in with the breath, all of your intention, all of your energy, all of your being is coming into the body with every inhalation and with every exhalation. You're going to journey into your body. You're going to start at the top of the head, and you're going to feel at the top of the head anything in the head, sensing, being with the whole of the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the ears. And as we travel down into the body, if you feel anything in this space, you will want to stop the recording just to be with this part of you, just to experience this part of you, to allow this part of you to come forward. And as we continue down, we go through the eyes and we go through the ears and the nose, the mouth, the cheeks, back of the head, into the chin and the jaw, neck, shoulders, the chest. Back of the shoulders, in the heart center. From the heart, trace all the way down the arms, biceps, the forearms, the wrists and the hands and even the fingertips. Back from the heart, we go into the middle of the back, front of the heart, and then we enter into the rib cage, all around the body, track round the rib cage. Go into the abdomen, upper abdomen, the front, at the back. All below now into the belly, below the navel. Top of the lower back. And then we drop into our womb space, or our hara space if we're a man, below the navel, below the belly, into that deep space in the pelvis. We breathe into there and we bring all our being in there and we sense all in there. Listening to the responses of the body. Feeling the body. And then into the hips, sacrum at the back, into the whole pelvis, feeling all the energy there. Being there, feeling there, sensing there, communicating in this area. And the same down into the thighs, front and back, the knees. All down the legs, into the shins, and calves, ankles and the feet. So you track through the body in this way, taking all your energy, all your being, all your senses, all your feeling, all yourself as you track through, and you stop when you feel a communication, a pain. Some people feel an ache. So we start with that and we ask it what it is. So for example, if I'm in my head and I'm feeling a headache, then I begin to allow that communication, a feeling to come through. I bring it from the back of my mind and I bring it through from the subconscious to the conscious, make it known. And I just tell my head, or whatever part I'm working with, I feel this part, I'm aware of this dis-ease in the part I feel, the place that this is speaking to me, and I am going to just sit with this piece. And I'm going to bring my breath and all of my being to this place. And I'm going to allow this place to expand, to come forward, to be acknowledged. And I don't rush this. This is gentle and smooth. And I keep giving this part of me a space. I give this part of me all my attention. And I'm breathing energy, life, oxygen to this place. And when I feel that I've expanded this place enough, that this part of me is fully in my consciousness, in my feeling body, my sensing body, I just begin to ask it to communicate with me, to speak to me about why it's in this feeling sense, why it's in this space. What are its concerns? What are its worries? And let your adult listen like it would to a child, intentively, attentively, caring and compassionate. Let it share its concern, its fear with you, its worry. And as you listen closely, allow yourself to feel any emotion that is connected to that. Notice how your body responds as you connect to that. Is there another part of your body responding? If there's another part of you responding, you can invite that to come forward. You can expand that place and say to that place, I'm here to listen, come forward. And just be here with it. Not exiling this place, not sending this place away, but listening, holding, nurturing, caring. And so again, you may wish to pause this recording and allow the emotion and the space that's needed. So after you have come into a sense of emotion or a place in you that has been released and been acknowledged, then we begin to deal with the fears, with what we're suppressing in the body. And mark the movement of that, whatever it is inside of you that has moved. Mark it by a movement. Mark it by an acknowledgement, by saying, oh, this part of me is now no longer in hiding. It's no longer going to show itself in my body because it's had chance to express itself, to free itself from my being. And from this space, we ask, what is the action now? So if the head is full of worry because of what you're worrying about and the worrying has come forward, you can then begin to make an action in a more rational space. I am terrified that I will get ill. And instead of being in the terrified of getting ill, you can be in the space of, okay, how can I prevent that? What measures can I take to assure that I will be okay and that I won't get ill? And so the worry has a voice and it has an action, and the whole of your nervous system will respond to that action, to that resolution. And we stop carrying the emotional weight. It stops behaving in its own manner. So I hope this recording's useful for you all. I hope that all of you who are in some denial about how you're feeling, or even those who are totally acknowledging that there's some fear riding through their body, find this tool really useful. And feel free to share it with friends that you know it will benefit. If we carry this fear pattern and program in us, we've seen the stuff on the internet, it lowers your immunity, it makes you susceptible, it makes you anxious, it makes you depressed, it makes you in really kind of nervous system reactions. It's very detrimental to your health and to your body. So rather than allow fear to control us at this time, let's learn how to deal with fear. And the reason why I am also thankful for this pandemic of fear that is in our collective is that it's really important that we know as like human beings that fear often drives our lives a lot. Fear and danger are completely different. The human psyche is worried and in a fearful state all the time, and it keeps us imprisoned. It stops us living our life the way we want to. And if we all are very truthful with ourselves, a lot of the things that we want to do in life, a lot of the dreams that we carried are crushed by fear. You can't do that because I don't, because I can't, is a fear-based statement. So when we begin to deal with fear, we begin to actually expand our lives. And so while fear is crushing our society at the moment in its shadow, I'm also aware that when you are willing to go to shadow, your own denial, you are able to move through into a lighter place. And this will start to free you up on many levels. I've already shared that when I became aware of fear patterning, and this was shared with me when I was in a deep ceremonial process and teaching, that fear was running my life, that I was scared to take the chances and to take the opportunities that I wanted to drive my dream life. And all of you know, and all of you that know me, know that I have had to crush through walls of fear all on this path. I have let go of businesses. I have let go of marriages, a marriage, relationship. I have let go of successful businesses. I have let go of homes and a beautiful nomadic life and a very successful yoga studio, all to pursue my dream. And every time my big dream has wanted to be taken, held by me, I've had to go through a crushing fear. What if this doesn't work out? What if I can't? And this is how I've dealt with it. I've not played into the fear. I have worked with the fear and worked with the more rational part of myself. The land here that I own in France has all been born of working through the many processes of annihilating my fear not to drive me. So if you all are able to work with fear on a bigger level than just doing this exercise, obviously there are many more practices that can be shared, we can start to build a life through our intuition, through our wants, through our desires, through our love of life and the view of that bigger dream that you all hold. You all have an imprint of what you want life to look like. Then it becomes achievable day by day, breaking down the fear patterns. So use this meditation, this therapy technique more than once. Ask it every day, the body. Once you've learnt this process, it's just there, and it takes no longer than 10 to 15 minutes to break down those fear patterns that are running through you and governing your life. So I'm grateful to any shadow experiences that we're getting in the collective, because it's an opportunity for growth if we can take it. So I'm wishing you all well. I will share a link under this YouTube video to my website where you can book sessions with me if you want to go really deep into some deeper fear issues that might be governing your life and stopping you living the dream life. I will also be broadcasting more YouTube videos with regards to techniques that I feel will benefit us all as we move through these challenging times. So sending you love from the Rose Temple in France.